I love the energy, the enthusiasm. Hollywood!
This is Utah Tech football and the Lance Anderson Coaches Show.
A lot of good work. I'm really proud of you guys.
Congratulations! This is what it should feel like after every game. Hell yeah! You guys have earned this. You guys have earned this. And you know, we are capable of a lot more. We are capable of being a lot better. I'm going to save that till Tuesday. We'll talk about it on Tuesday. Be ready to work this week. But this is what we want it to feel like. I appreciate all the work, all the effort. This is what we want every week, and we're not going to settle for anything less. Yes, sir. UT on 3, 1, 2, 3, UT!
That was the scene and that was the feeling in the locker room after Saturday night in Greater Zion Stadium. Trailblazers getting the win over Northern Iowa 20-6. Hi there, welcome to Lance Anderson Coaches Show. Rod Zundel here along with the head coach, Lance Anderson. Lance, what a moment that was for you guys.
It was great. It's great to finally get a win. I really feel like we have played hard all season long. We've competed with really good football teams, but it was finally great to get the feel of what a victory is like.
Now you get ready to go on the road to open up the United Athletic Conference this Saturday at Austin Peay. Austin Peay, another ranked team. They're ranked in the top 25. They're coming off a loss in the conference opener, 45-31 at Abilene Christian. But before we talk to them, let's go back to Saturday night, Coach. What was the difference in being able to finish and getting the job done?
You know, I think, number one, starting with the defense. Defense played really well all game long, and we really addressed those areas that had maybe hurt us a little bit the previous weeks. We eliminated the big plays. We continued to do a good job in the run game. We played good red zone defense. And were able to get off the field on third down, which was huge.
All right, let's talk more about the defense. Only gave up 47 yards rushing, best against a Division I opponent.
Yeah, that's something we've been working hard towards. We've been getting better, but it was great to see those kind of results on Saturday night.
Allowed only 207 total yards of offense for Northern Iowa. That's best against an FCS team.
Yeah, that's impressive too. You got a good chance to win with numbers like that.
4 more sacks, so that's 13 sacks through 4 games. And that is 5th best in the country.
We need to keep doing that. Need to put pressure on the quarterback.
All right, but it started off, it was a defensive struggle the first half as we take a look at the highlights. On Northern Iowa's first drive, you got another sack right off the bat, a strip sack, and recovered the fumble.
Yeah, those are the best. Get the sack, get the ball, set the offense up with good field position. And it's just a great way to set the tone for the game with a play like that.
Panthers had great field position in that first half, but your defense got off the field with some big third down stops like this one, and instead of touchdowns, you got field goals from it.
Exactly. That's something we've been doing most of the year, is playing good red zone defense. That continued on Saturday, limiting them to some field goal attempts and never let them in the end zone.
You got some big chunk plays against Idaho, but no run was longer than 8 yards Saturday.
Yeah, especially in the run game. I think we gave up like 7 explosive runs against Idaho, 0 against Northern Iowa.
And your pass defense, you only allowed Northern Iowa to get 160 yards. They had 359 yards passing against Eastern Washington the previous week.
Yeah, we were very solid against the pass as well. I think we had 6 pass breakups. One of their biggest plays, I think the 45-yard gain, we had a bust and miscommunication in coverage, but a pretty solid night overall.
The pressure forced their quarterback into some errant throws.
Yeah, for sure. That's like I mentioned there earlier, we got to keep putting pressure on the quarterback.
And your DBs, you're down 2 starters, and you had guys step up and make some great plays.
We did. Ryan Tuola did a nice job. R.J. Jones in his first game stepped in. Jeremiah Jamo coming back from an injury. Those guys were key in stepping in for some of the injured guys.
And that right there is the sack that ended the game. You talk about finish. Your defense finished the job when the opportunity came up.
Yeah, it was a great way to finish the game.
All right, so let's talk about the offensive side. Offense now, the offensive line didn't give up a sack, so they only have 1 sack through four games that they've allowed. That's tied for number 1 in the country for teams that have played 4 games. Talk about, you have 3 freshmen on the field at the same time on that offensive line.
Yeah, we've got some new guys. They've done a really good job all season long, especially in pass protection, giving the quarterback time to throw. And we're getting better and better in the run game as well. And I think that was a big key on Saturday night to our victory as well. We wore them down, and we got better at running the football. We did that in the second half. We were able to control the time of possession. That allowed us to play complementary football, get the defense some rest. So that was a big key in our victory this week.
First half, though, it was a struggle for both teams. As we go to the highlights, 127 total yards in the first half for you, 86 of them coming here on this final drive. Reggie on 3rd and 20 to keep the drive alive, first down.
Yeah, huge run here. Yeah, we started out a little slow, a little sloppy with just, some of the penalties, some of the lack of execution, but that definitely got better as the game went on.
And that led to this, Reggie Graff to Daniel Thomason's second TD of the season.
I think Reggie really settled in as the game went on and got much more accurate with a lot of his throws. This was huge for the touchdown here.
With all of that, you led 7-6 at the half. Then in the third quarter, here comes the running game, Coach. And like you said, you wore them down. Asa Chapman, look at all the great blocking. Look at that offensive line, just push everybody away. And then the downfield blocking.
Yeah, you look at Daniel Thomason there with a block. Eric Olsen got a good block in addition to the O-line. And Ace is able to break this run. Those big explosive plays are huge.
66-yard touchdown for Asa Chapman, second TD of the year. And then you were up 14-9. And then Dejon Harrison, the transfer, missed all of last year, was injured. He really got into the act.
He did. This was another explosive play, 40-yard gain right here. Should have been a touchdown later on, but it does lead to a field goal for us.
You talk about finishing. This was a 12-play, 6-minute drive in the second half. And like you said, you thought you had a touchdown here. Dejon, they called a pick play on our 3 receivers there.
Yeah, and you can see there is no pick.
Yeah.
Those guys are just running their route. The head of the officials for the UAC called on Monday to apologize for that.
Dejon should have had his first career touchdown. But it was good to see him get involved in the offense because he's got some speed.
He does.
Defense got the ball back. Still a one-possession game after you kicked the field goal there after they took away the touchdown. So defense got the ball back. One-possession game. Another long drive. 15-play, 8.5-minute drive. That's a big 3rd down and 10 conversion there.
Yeah, we converted 3rd downs and we ran the ball well. I mean, to have like a 12-play drive, a 15-play drive in the second half, that's impressive.
And Asa Chapman, not just in the open space, but this is a tough grind out, 8 yards there. He had a career high 97 yards.
Yep. Yeah, another really solid game for Asa.
And you keep talking about finishing. You finished it with a field goal to make it a 2-possession game, and that puts some distance between you and the Panthers. And then you got a sack at the end of the game we showed you on defense to ice it. So you have talked all of the second half of last year, all of this year, fall camp, spring ball, finish, and you got to see it happen there.
Yeah, finally got to do it. And I think, again, the starting point is putting ourselves in position to be in these games and to win these games. The next step, and often the hardest step, is actually finishing them. So it was great to do that against a good Northern Iowa team.
Reggie Graff, quarterback, 103 yards rushing, first 100-yard rusher since Quali Conley back in 2022.
Yeah, it's great to, boy, anytime we can run the ball and impose your will on an opponent, you got a great chance to win. And we nearly had 2 100-yard rushers.
Chapman was 3 yards away from making it 2 100-yard rushers for the first time in your D1 existence. So, and then Brenton Stone, let's not forget about him because he came up with some tough runs and really started to wear down that Northern Iowa defense. 12 carries, 41 yards.
Yeah, he really had some downhill inside runs with some tough yards, and that's what helped soften up the defense and lead to some of those bigger runs in the second half.
279 yards rushing.
That's impressive. You're going to win a lot of games when you can do that.
Yeah. 3rd down conversion, 7 of 15.
Yep, nearly 50%. Yep, we can win with that.
You like 50%. That's a good number to have.
Love that, yeah.
And then you won the time of possession battle by nearly 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's huge. I think that went a long way towards wearing Northern Iowa down and allowing us to finish in that 4th quarter.
Because last week against Idaho, you only had the ball 50 seconds in that first quarter. Tough to get a rhythm, but once you did, like you said, wearing them down. And let's go back to the offensive line because this is pretty impressive. You had a lot of guys returning like Nolan Reynolds and Bryce Crowley, but you have a lot of new guys, 3 freshmen as we talked about. Can we, over estimate or overstate just how impressive this is for these guys, what they're doing?
What they're doing is very impressive. You just look at what they've done in protection, where only giving up 1 sack, and that really wasn't on the O-line. That was a running back that needed to pick up the guy that got the sack. So they've done a really good job. And then you just see how our run game has gotten better and better. And that was an area, too, that we really struggled with last year. There was never really a time that we were able to establish the run, and we've been able to do that in several games this year. And that's the kind of football I believe in, that you've got to be tough, you've got to be physical. Offense, you have to run the ball. Defense, you have to stop the run. And we are making major progress in those areas.
We always hear about the next man up when somebody is banged up and can't go. But let's start with the offensive line. Dallin Johnson wasn't able to play. The transfer from BYU at right tackle. Cade Draper, a true freshman. Let's talk about some of the other names that have stepped up. We talked about Nolan Reynolds, Bryce Crowley. They're the leaders of this team. Dallin Johnson, Cade Draper. And talk about some of the other guys too.
Justice Enna has been gutting it out, playing with a broken hand. Pesi Fanua has stepped in and played a lot for us on the offensive line. So that group has gelled and really played well together.
And then when you look on the other side, you had some guys banged up in the secondary that didn't play, Houston and Aguayo. You had guys step up. You mentioned a little bit about them. But what does that say about the depth and about the guys that you have stepping up and not missing a beat?
I mean, we are starting to develop some depth across the board on the football team, which, I mean, injuries are a part of the game. You're going to get beat up, and we need those guys to step up. And it's just it means something for those guys, too, that, hey, when their number is called, when their time comes, hey, they're ready to play, and they're able to go out there and perform at a high level.
As a head coach, how long do you want these guys to celebrate a win before they start looking ahead to Austin Peay?
You know, usually the rule's about 24 hours, enjoy it. For us, where we're not practicing on a Monday, we might be able to enjoy that a little bit longer. But yeah, by the time we hit Tuesday and we get into our meetings on Tuesday morning, our focus is shifted to Austin Peay. We're preparing for that next game, but it's nice to have a few hours to celebrate for sure.
All right. Well, that was the win Saturday night against Northern Iowa, 20-6. Now we look ahead to Austin Peay Saturday, high noon kickoff in Clarksville, Tennessee. We're going to take a break. When we come back, a couple of guys are making big plays all over the field. That's when the Lance Anderson Coaches Show comes back.
If you haven't seen Utah Tech University lately, chances are you haven't seen it at all. With hands-on polytechnic learning across 300 academic programs, 30 new and renovated state-of-the-art facilities, the most affordable university tuition in the state, and 300 days of sunshine, why look anywhere else? Discover why Utah Tech was recently named one of Education Magazine's 10 prominent universities and colleges to watch. Join us and experience the active learning, active life difference at Utah Tech.
Deckelman goes down. Trailblazers defense get off the field, and they're going to win their first game of the season.
And that was the defensive play that iced it Saturday night in Greater Zion Stadium to clinch the 20-6 win over Northern Iowa. We're now joined by Bryce Crowley, senior center on the offensive line, and Logan Peely, the linebacker, junior linebacker for the Trailblazers. Gentlemen, welcome. So let's just start talking about the emotion Saturday. Coach has been talking about it for a year and a half now. Finish, finish, finish. And Bryce, you've been here both years. Talk about finishing and what it means to you guys to actually feel the fruits of what you accomplished.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Last year was a tough year with only one win. And, this fall camp and all, up until now, we've been really working hard, really working on finishing and working on, next play mentality and really working on that. And so Saturday it was amazing to play a game like that where it was a really tough game, really grimy game, and to come out with a win. It was really awesome.
Logan Peely, you're a transfer from Utah State. You've been involved with some big games and big wins. Just talk about what that means to you to be part of this group that's building something here.
And it felt good. I mean, we all know what we're capable of. I mean, coming into this last game, we wanted to be physical and do all of these things, and we were able to showcase that. And being able to celebrate with the team in the locker room doing that, it was just exciting, fun.
Nothing better, is there?
Oh yeah, nah. Cheering, running around, spraying water, it was a blast for sure.
Bryce, your offensive line for teams that have played 4 games, only given up 1 sack, that's number 1 in the country. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Just talk about leading this group, 3 freshmen. You got to be the daddy of them and tell them what's going on.
I don't know about that. They're really smart. They've done a really good job at stepping up and taking control. And I don't think I'm the daddy of them at all. I think they're doing really well, and they've really come in and done a good job. So.
Coach, he smiles and laughs at that, but he's kind of the leader, he and Nolan Reynolds.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, with Bryce, especially playing this position as center, I mean, there's a lot on his plate in terms of getting us in the right protection, making sure we got the right blocking scheme, called for the run, and he does a great job of getting those guys all organized and making sure we're all on the same page.
Logan, I think we found a new nickname for Bryce, don't you?
Shoot, right here.
And Logan, Grandpa, there you go. Logan, this defense, 5th in the country in sacks, 13 sacks through 4 games. That's impressive. I know we talked about it in fall camp. What do you want to do? You want to be a run stopper. That's what you said you want to be. But talk about just the defensive pressure that you guys are putting on, not getting pushed around anymore.
Yeah, I think it's just, everyone doing their 111th, being able to have the coverage-wise and the blitz, both sides are just correlating at the same time, being able to execute that pretty well, and we're able to get the result we want, which is sacks, and it's pretty amazing that we're ranked high in the leaderboard for that, so that's pretty cool.
And, Coach, you went out and got him out of the transfer portal. So Logan and a couple other guys, what has he meant, and what have these guys, the transfers, meant to your defense, and how are you seeing your vision of what they should be?
They've meant a lot because they bring some talent, some great ability to our defense. You got a guy like Logan who's played in some really good football programs. He's been in some big games, and he just brings so much experience to the linebacker position, where he has a great feel for playing the game. He has some great instincts, and just his experience really shows.
And Coach, guys like Logan and some of the other transfers, some of the freshmen that have come in, they're making the veterans a lot better. Tonavasa and Marley coming back after missing last year. Those guys are benefiting from guys like Logan.
Yeah, just having more depth in the program, more athletic players, guys that are physical, guys that are tough. The more guys we can get like that, the better we're going to be.
Bryce, you're from Cedar City, and we're so happy that you didn't go to that team 50 miles to the north. Just talk about how all that came about, how they let a Cedar kid get away from them.
Yeah, in high school they recruited me a little bit, and they just, I guess, decided that they didn't want to have me around. That's okay, So I graduated, and Coach Hughes, who used to be here, called me up and said they wanted me down here, and so I ended up down here. I'm super happy about it, and wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So
you're glad they made that mistake, huh?
We're very glad to have Bryce here.
All right, guys. From spring ball to now, talk about the progress of this team, not just physically and schematically, but mentally as well. Bryce, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think as an offensive line unit, obviously, because that's who I hang out with most of the time.
Because you're the grandpa of the group,
yeah,
right?
I guess.
To Logan. I just gave you the dad part. He gave you the grandpa.
I guess, well, older than the other guys. But, no, I think we've really just tried to adopt the mentality of just, grinding it out every play. Like, it might not be pretty, and that's okay. We're just going to be as physical as we possibly can be, and just next play mentality, just be physical every single play. And I think that's really helped us, and I hope, and we're going to keep doing that, and it's going to continue to help us as we keep going.
Yeah, and Logan, last year the defense struggled a little bit, getting pushed around some, but not this year. Just talk about what you've seen, the progression from when you first got here to right now.
I think it just starts from practice. This last week we've been emphasizing just swarming to the ball, executing, alignment, execution, all of that. It really just starts with everyone just doing their job, and I think we're able to do that when we're all mentally there and communicating. And there's actually a phrase, communication breeds confidence. So, when the whole defense is communicating and then talking to each other, it makes the game way easier for us to be able to play fast and physical.
All right, Logan, you got your hair up, but how long has it been since you've cut your hair, you say?
22.
Okay. And you've been compared to a couple of famous people. One of your idol, Troy Polamalu, the Pittsburgh Steelers Hall of Famer.
Yep, for sure.
Coach, that looks just like him. And Jason Momoa.
Yep, he's a good actor for sure.
That's not too bad guys to be compared to.
I don't mind it. Yeah, I'll take the compliment for sure.
Heck yeah. And Bryce, last year we hooked you up to a GoPro, put it in your face mask to get a little view of what it's like to be Bryce Crowley at practice. So we're going to take a look back at Bryce Crowley, what it's like to be him at a Trailblazer practice.
Hey, want to do it or no? Hey, you want to push it? Oh no!
You see that? Hand it to me, please. Thank you. You know who it is, man. I'm over here. Fall the bottom of these boys, man. Look at these boys doing up downs. Look at that. You know who it is, man. It's your boy AP, number 9. Photo bombing it. Look at it, man. Coach is doing up downs. Look at him. Yeah.
There it is.
You know who photo bombing it, man. Number 9, man.
Hey, so
AP.
what'd you do to our guy?
Man, we got to stop. You know what we do, man. That's what defense do. What's your name, bro? Who are you?
You knocked the camera right off.
Well, I guess that means we're done now.
Hope you enjoyed hanging out with us big guys in the trenches today. Go Blazers.
I tell you what, you get in some pretty good scrapes on that offensive line in practice.
It's messy down there. It's not pretty. It's messy.
That's fun to see. It kind of gives us an idea of exactly what you go through. And Coach, they get after each other between the offense and defense, don't they?
It is a physical position. I mean, there is contact on every single play.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will look ahead to Saturday's matchup with Austin Peay. And Bryce, just get prepared. I may ask you to do something, and I think you know what it's going to be. Find out what it is when we come back.
If you haven't seen Utah Tech University lately, chances are you haven't seen it at all. With hands-on polytechnic learning across 300 academic programs, 30 new and renovated state-of-the-art facilities, the most affordable university tuition in the state, and 300 days of sunshine. Why look anywhere else? Discover why Utah Tech was recently named one of Education Magazine's 10 prominent universities and colleges to watch. Join us and experience the active learning, active life difference at Utah Tech.
All right, back here on the Lance Anderson Coaches Show. Trailblazers now getting ready to open up the United Athletic Conference schedule Saturday, high noon in Clarksville, Tennessee, about 45 minutes from Nashville against Austin Peay. The Governors ranked 25th in the country, and they're 2-2 now, Coach, but they played Georgia, who's ranked 5th in the country in FBS right now, and held them to 28 points.
Yeah, 28-6 game against Georgia. They really looked good in that game. And then they went down. They played Middle Tennessee at Middle Tennessee,
another FBS school,
and really dominated that game.
Yeah, so they knocked off an FBS school, held the 5th-ranked team in the country, Georgia, to 28 points. Then they went to Abilene Christian and lost 45-31. They were down 31-3, but that was because of turnovers. They shot themselves in the foot.
They really got down in the first half with turnovers, and then they came storming back in the second half. They're a really good football team.
You played Austin Peay a couple times, right? Yeah, at their place, and then last year here. They've got a quarterback, Logan, that can do it all. He can run, and he's a good athlete, and he can throw the ball as well.
Yep. I mean, we've played some mobile QBs already from at UC Davis and Idaho, so we're just going to do our best to contain him and stop him and do his best. So.
And Bryce, as you see, they got a sack there at Abilene Christian last week. To hold Georgia to 28 points, that's pretty stout defense.
Yeah, no, it is. I think, this week we just focus on our fundamentals and focus on the basics. There's no secret sauce to winning games, just the basics, right?
Yeah, now you've been to Austin Peay. You've been to Tennessee, Nashville?
I have. My brother played at Tennessee, so we would travel up there and watch games.
That's right. A volunteer, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, by the way, that Georgia team that they held to 28 went out and put, 40 points on Tennessee on the road?
44 on Tennessee.
So that tells you what kind of team. They kind of like you. They brought in some transfers that are making immediate impacts as well.
They got a lot of transfers on their roster. I think on their offensive line, they're starting 4 transfers. Their quarterback is a transfer from Mississippi State. So, yeah, they've got a lot of – they're a different team than they were last year.
So what's your message to these guys now that you are in conference play? You got a win under your belt. You're feeling good about yourself and that you've been in all these games, but now you start what you've been preparing for the whole fall.
Yeah, exactly. We want to keep building on what we've been doing these first 4 games and just finishing like we did last week. The great thing is, I mean, this is the beginning of conference play. So a conference championship, FCS playoffs, those are completely under our control right now.
How is the non-conference schedule giving you guys confidence, Bryce, going into conference play, saying you can play with anybody and you got a chance to win every game?
Yeah, I think just like you said, we've played some really good teams. I think it's given us a lot of confidence. Like, you know, UC Davis and NAU, they're both really good football teams, and playing those guys, you know, shows okay, we can play with anybody.
Yeah.
Like I said, just focus on the basics and we can do it. So.
And Logan, talk about going up against Austin Peay, longest road trip so far this year, and starting conference play.
Yeah, I mean, we're all excited. I mean, coming off a win, I think we just got to keep that momentum, not being complacent, moving in the right direction, and just slowly refining our details in every time of our execution. So.
Okay, well, we just found out something about Bryce Crowley today. And so we told you before the break that we're going to give him something to do. So he told us that he was a master juggler.
Not master.
Master juggler. And so he kind of gave us a little preview before the show. So let's see you, big fella.
All right.
How did you learn to juggle?
So I served at a mission in Omaha, Nebraska, and for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and we were snowed in for a few weeks, and I was just bored, so I taught myself how to juggle. So.
All right. Okay. Let's go.
So now hopefully I don't mess up because I'm nervous.
Look at that. No, that didn't work.
I got nervous. Let me try.
I got nervous.
There we go.
All right, Bryce Crowley. Coach, did you know you had such talented guys on your team?
No, that was one talent I didn't know that Bryce had. So
you know what's going to take place at the next team meeting, right?
Exactly.
Bryce Crowley, juggling. What are you going to come up with, Logan?
I need to come up with something. I don't know. I'm not.
All right,
not too sure.
Logan Peely and Bryce Crowley, thanks for coming in, and let's get it done in Tennessee next week, all right, this Saturday. Coach, final thoughts?
We're looking forward to going on the road and competing against a good football team. This should be fun.
All right, pregame on Saturday, 11 a.m. Utah time on Trailblazer Sports Vision and the Fan Sports Radio Network. Kickoff at noon. Guys, go Blazers.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for Lance Anderson Coach's Show. We'll see you Saturday in Clarksville, Tennessee.